What's up guys, Omni here. You guys know how it goes, another day, another video. Last night I tweeted I sleep. What recent news, topics, tweets, videos y'all want me to talk about tomorrow? Hey guys, today is Monday, December 11th, and yeah, we're halfway into December, we're almost at the new year, we're almost into 2024, and yeah, we got some things that we need to talk about. A lot of you guys already know what we're going to get into, even before seeing the title, but yeah, a lot going down, so let's just jump into it, okay? Before we jump into the whole Jirard the Completionist situation, I need to bring some clarity to last Friday's video, okay? We talked about Destiny and Melina and them whole breaking up and stuff like that, okay? I only spent 6 minutes talking about it because I didn't want to go into detail about somebody's, you know, like personal private life when it comes to like breakups. I was kind of like, oh, this is a little messy. Let me just make a little few comments and then like this. A lot of you in the comments told me that I did not provide enough context about the situation, so I'm gonna do that really fast in today's video, okay? And I said, I feel like you misinterpreted the part where it wasn't just Melina going around and sleeping with other people. The open relationship went both ways, okay? So yes, I knew that both Destiny and Melina were in an open relationship. So here's the added context, okay? Destiny is an open relationship. It goes both ways. Melina's allowed to date whoever she wants, and yeah, Destiny's allowed to date whoever he wants. Okay, that's the rules, and that's the added context. In my opinion, it didn't matter in the context of the situation. I wasn't trying to paint the image that Destiny was a cuck. I was trying to explain that the internet doesn't care about the rules of poly or open relationships, okay? If you are a man and you are in some kind of way sharing your wife, or your wife is sharing you, they will still call you a cuck. Even if it is equal opportunity, that's what they will call you, okay? Just goofing around. I have nothing against Destiny. Fun fact about me and Destiny, we both have Omni in our name. Our names are both Steven, and we're both black. So like, there's no reason for me to go against my brother right there. And the last bit amount of context, okay, my jabs towards open relationships and poly relationships, okay? Do whatever the hell you want, all right? I am not telling you not to do anything. I have no agenda here. I'm not trying to spread any misinformation. I don't want you to believe something or do whatever, okay? I have no political affiliation with anything or anybody, all right? What I suggested was that the concept of open relationships, in my opinion, I don't think they tend to work, okay? I tend to see what occurs is that people try to create this venture where they connect with multiple people, and then like eventually one person somewhere down the road in this chain develops actual strong human feelings that transgress the concept of just wanting to be with multiple people to the point where they just want somebody just for their own. I feel like that's a little bit human nature, but I'm not going to define and say it is what it is. It's just what I've seen, and in the past too, in the real life, when I've seen these things come about, I have not seen it last. That is my opinion, but you can feel free to say that I'm wrong. And that's it, okay? I'm not invested in their relationship like that. I have empathy for Destiny for having to go through this situation, all right? This is something that, you know, I would not want to be on the internet if it happened to me, okay? And I know it hurts. So my man is probably going through some stuff, so that's why I told him to go and take his ass to the gym, because for those of you guys who are like, Omni, no, the gym, that's toxic. Wrong, okay? Go to the gym, all right? You should go to the gym even if you don't have heartbreak, okay? But specifically when you are in not a good, you know, mental state of mind, I think it's very, extremely healthy to go to the gym and work out and exercise to help you to deal with some of the things that are happening in life, all right? So that's the added context, okay? I ain't providing any more, you freaking heathens, you little DGG enjoyers, like, oh no, not my king. I'm goofing and playing around, and I hope you guys don't take it too seriously. When I get serious, I will get serious, and you will know. I'll stop smiling, all right? I'll be for real. I'll start throwing out curse words, okay? But for now, I just did not want to get into the thick and the weeds of somebody's relationship after a quick and sudden heartbreak. That was it, okay? All right, cool. By the way, have you guys realized it's almost Christmas? Have you guys finished your Christmas shopping? Like, have you even started? Because guys, if you're looking for a quick and easy way to show that special someone that you care, you can't go wrong with Halskern, who also happens to be today's sponsor. Halskern is a company that creates high quality accessories by using natural products from the earth, including grain, marbling, wood, stone, mother of pearl, and more. Now guys, look, here's the secret, okay? If you're terrible at gift giving, kind of like me, accessories are one of the best gifts you can give someone, okay? Whether it's a watch, a ring, a bracelet, or a necklace, that person will always be reminded of you whenever they see or wear it. On top top of that, Halls Current guarantees delivery before Christmas on all orders that are placed up to December 20th. So you guys got some time. And on the off chance that they don't like it, you can return it absolutely free until the end of January. And if you suck at gift wrapping like me, Halls Current provides gifting bags, boxes, even postcards. It's literally a one-stop shop for buying a gift that will definitely have a lasting effect for that special someone. From me to you guys, I highly vouch, okay? I wear these bad boys almost every single day, okay? I get compliments left and right walking out in public. They're literally the only accessory brand that I keep coming back to, and Halls Current is one of the best companies that I've worked with on this channel. So yeah, guys, what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description below to get 15% off your order. You'll be supporting the channel, the planet, and acquiring some really good drip all at once. Free shipping to USA and most EU countries within 2 to 4 days, a 24-month warranty, and a 24-day right of return. And again, special thanks to Halls Current for sponsoring today's video. All right, guys, so here's the topic you guys are all here for today, all right? Brando VA said Muta dropped his response to Jirard. And he brought the actual receipts. Turns out everything Jirard linked in his vid description really amounted to absolutely nothing. More serious contradictions from Jirard. Definitely worth the watch if people need to talk about it, okay? So this is actually skipping a step. If you guys don't know, Jirard the Completionist officially responded as of the day before yesterday, Saturday. Those of you guys who don't know what the hell is going on, okay, the quick TLDR is this is Jirard the Completionist. He's a guy who makes YouTube videos and he does charity events that was called Indie Land. All that money from Indie Land is supposed to go to a foundation called the Open Hand Foundation, where they take the money and they give it to charity for research. But that never happened. For 10 years, all of the money that they raised sat in an account and depreciated and lost out to inflation, okay? The price of whatever is in there now is way lower versus what it was when it got deposited. Two YouTubers, Mutahar and Karl Jobst, made dual videos saying, hey bro, why is the money in this account? That's absolutely wild that you have done this. And people need to know that their money is not going anywhere. About a week later, no response from Jirard. They made some follow-up videos insisting that potentially there might be some charity fraud going on there. Both Karl and Mutahar being like, this looks really bad because the golfing tournaments and the revenue seem to be out of place. Which leads us to the post that Jirard made on Saturday that said, hey everyone, I know you had some questions. I want to assure you that all the funds we have raised together through Indie Land and the Open Hand Foundation are safe, accounted for, and have been donated. 600K went to the leading charity that specializes in FTD and was matched for a total of 800K to fight dementia. I'm deeply sorry and want to apologize to anyone affected by the situation. I hope this video helps bring some clarity and transparency to recent allegations. Moving forward, this will be my only video response on the topic. Thank you for your patience and support. Links mentioned on the video. And it's a 20-minute video with Jirard doing a lot of things. I would just like to mention before I show you guys the most important parts of the video here, the things that you probably really need to know, not the whole thing, as I did say in the replies, please, for the love of God, before replying to this video, please watch it. This was not over here me trying to be a white knight and jump over to Jirard's side and be like, yes, defend him, okay? No, I am a strong advocate of just sitting and listening to both sides, okay? Letting information process. I'm in the middle, chilling, waiting, observing, reading, getting information, watch it as it exposed, and I wait until information sharing is done for me to eventually come to a conclusion. I know, it's wild, right? Twitter doesn't want to do that though, right? Somebody makes a claim, they're like, yeah, we canceled the person. Then the other person responds, yeah, we canceled the other person. And it's just this back and forth just thing where people don't even care what the other people are saying. They just want to see blood, okay? I'm not on that life, all right? Funny enough, I didn't even see this reply. Keemstar's like, dude raised money for a cause since 2014 and did not send the money to a cause till 2023. And replies are people defending him. You people don't have an IQ worthy of respect, honor, or truth. You deserve to be scammed. Oh my God, Keemstar is funny as hell, dog. Anyway, it looks like my man's already got community noted. Oh my God. Okay, we'll get to that in a second. Okay, hold on. Spoiler alert. Anyway, I've already watched the video. I think the best way to break down a summary of this video for you guys is to split it into parts, okay? In the beginning, and in the lots of parts of the video, he adds a lot of information that's not necessary, okay? He talks about not appealing to emotion, but giving like the basis of what the research is that is done, you know, in honor of his mom, and just all of these things that's not really important to what's being claimed here, okay? People just want to know the numbers and the facts, and that's it. Everything else is kind of descriptive. We don't need all of that stuff, but he provides a lot of it. There's a lot of just, you know, fluff in there in between what people really care about. Like, did you commit charity fraud or not? Why did you keep the money or not? Were you being dishonest or not? That's it. That's all people want to know. It didn't need to be a 20-minute video, but here we are. The other thing is that he's reading from a script, which is completely fine, by the way. Reading from scripts makes things, you know, concise and to the point, but a lot of people feel that maybe this script might have been created by a lawyer, you know, and then combed in there and be like, yeah, say these things or say it this way or do these things to avoid liability, which is, you know, I imagine what he's doing because he probably needed a lawyer in this situation.
Over the past few weeks, allegations have been made against me, my family, and our charitable organization, the Open Hand Foundation, asserting charity fraud and more. I'm here today to provide clarity and transparency to set the record straight. I want to make it 100% clear. At no point in the Foundation's history was there any criminal or financial fraud. None. I also want to touch on why I've been quiet for these last few weeks.
We don't need to touch on that, okay? I'm just making that statement, but we don't need to touch on that. We know why he's been quiet. He's just been preparing a statement. That's quite literally it.
The Open Hand Foundation's goal was to make a large impact by donating the money to the right place. And a lot of the conversations that were had with various organizations involved the funds not being restricted or came with extremely high administrative costs. Look, any way you say this, action needed to be taken. And to that point, I'm sorry.
So he's saying, I am sorry because I kept the money for 10 years. Saying that he was kind of talking with charities and talking about the concept of it being a restricted or an unrestricted donation, but in my opinion, okay, and objectively, all right, talking to a charity for 10 years, okay, on and off about the concept of maybe donating the money is not the equivalent of working with a charity, okay? I can talk with anybody in the world and they might not even talk back to me back or have a conversation. That does not translate to me working with them. In my opinion, specifically in this charity situation, okay, working with somebody means that you've donated the money, all right? You guys have a transactional relationship, not a potential transactional relationship.
I'm disappointed that I was not more straightforward regarding the Foundation's timeline for making donations, and that I made statements potentially implying donations were made when they had not yet been. It took too long for clear action to occur, and I apologize for all of this. But such inaction was not done for any selfish or malicious reasons. I want to take this opportunity to apologize to any developers, publishers, content creators, and special guests who were involved with the various events. I'm also very sorry to this year's IndieLand sponsor. Their team was incredibly supportive and were a great partner to work with. Most importantly, I want to apologize to anyone who ever donated over the years who felt they were wronged or led astray by any of this. Dementia is an incredibly important cause to me and my family and so many of you at home. Advocating for more awareness has been such an important part of keeping my mother's memory alive.
So, again, this is no offense to anything that's happening with his money, and I feel terrible that this happened to him in this situation. Okay, I just objectively, how do I put this like lightly, right? Like, it matters, but it doesn't matter. Like we understand, like we get it, right? In the beginning when he said it, and then now he's saying it, we understand what the whole point is, but that's just not the point at hand right now. When we're talking about serious topics, when it comes to why you held the money, was there charity fraud, right? When you start bringing in and keep reminding people about the reason and the cause and this stuff, it's like, that's fine. We get it, but we just don't need to keep being reminded constantly throughout the video about that. He's trying to establish his intention to show that this is not something that he would have done anything wrong or illegal in. That's the whole point of him bringing it up. But regardless, he apologizes several times specifically for misleading his audience. Okay, I believe the statement he said was that he inappropriately made comments that suggested that donations were actually occurring when they were not. And that's a big deal, okay? Because if I'm sitting here and I have an Omni charity, I say, hey guys, thanks for the 10th year of the Omni charity, man. This is absolutely great. We've been raising money for charity for this long. And, you know, I've been working with these people and these people and these people, and all money and bits go to XYZ, and then we don't touch it. More on that later, okay? If I'm continuously telling you guys that we're running this charity thing and not once has any of the money ever touched any kind of charity donation whatsoever, right? That's not a good look. At the very freaking least, I would be very transparent on my website to let you guys know that I'm gathering a 10-year spirit bomb, right? I'm trying to raise XYZ amount, maybe $1 million, so that I can do it in a certain way that it goes to certain people. All it needed was just transparency, but the way that information was relayed made people think that their money was directly going to a cause when they donated it, okay? That's just how it works. So I'm going to skip about the next 10 minutes of the video for you guys, because this is the part where he basically responds to both Karl and Mutahar, talking about the specifics of the details of switching from private to public and what that implies and how they do their accounting, talking about the golfing tournament and about how the money doesn't add up because, when you pledge for a charity event, that doesn't mean that they actually receive the money during that period. So when they do the maths to try to calculate how much money should be received in revenue, he's saying like, yeah, we might get the pledge, but we don't get the money all the time. It might be rolled over to the next year, which I won't talk about because that's just cash versus accrual. A lot of complicated stuff, okay? You don't really need to know the details. All you need to know is that he's clashing back with them when it comes to the specifics of what the total amount looks like. And he's trying to say that it does all add up. It's just if you try to do it by looking at it by the website and everything, it's just not going to, because that's not how the structure works.
Also, none of the money from the Open Hand Foundation has ever funded any of my projects for my company. I want to stress that not a dollar raised from Indieland and its supporters was ever used on anything to personally benefit me, my family, or any of our companies.
So this is him saying that he didn't spend that money on all the Wii Shop games. There's a video of Jirard talking about how he bought every single Wii Shop game, and it's pretty big that he collected all of them digitally, and he purchased all of it and stuff, and people were like, wow, so that's how you funded the amount to make it, okay? But he's basically saying no, all right? Everything that we raised, we didn't use it personally. So this is finally the part where Jirard gets very stern and pretty angry, and is probably calling out both Karl and Muta, saying like, yeah, this is a message directly to you guys for saying that we did something illegal when we did not.
Saying that we are fraudsters, that what we are doing is illegal and constitutes charity fraud, that we are using my dead mother's name to potentially embezzle money and steal is categorically false. I should have been more transparent about the money not being donated, and that's on me. But my family and I have not done anything illegal, not before then and not since. And as mentioned previously, we have correspondence from the IRS to prove that. Furthermore, my family and I are in serious conversations with our legal teams regarding next steps, as the allegations that have been made with complete disregard for the truth of the matter.
So I actually forgot that he said that, but he says he has correspondence from the IRS to prove that nothing illegal happened. I don't even know what that means. Like, did he get the IRS to come through and do an audit, just to comb through everything to make sure that it's fine? Because when I checked the documents, I didn't see anything like that.
These allegations were made by individuals who self-admittedly aren't even financial or legal professionals. These allegations are slanderous, and we believe were done with selfish intent. They have directly jeopardized the safety of me, my staff, and my family, and that is not okay. I want to reiterate and specifically address that both the Foundation and I have been accused of forgery, embezzlement, and charity fraud. The allegations imply the Foundation forged tax returns because they weren't physical signatures on them when we e-filed them, or that we altered numbers to hide income or expenses. We can account for every single dollar received and spent in the last 9 years. We do not have anything to hide. And due to the overwhelming amount of people who have been instructed to file complaints to the IRS and Department of Justice, we understand an audit may be coming, and we welcome it. Our legal and financial teams have assured us that we have done nothing criminally wrong or illegal. Any possible issues in our paperwork can only be described as clerical errors and are easily amendable. Content creators and influencers should be held accountable when faced with serious allegations. However, the narrative can get taken so far away from the truth that the court of public opinion supersedes fact. I recognize and take accountability for all of my actions. At the same time, I am not going to let my reputation be compromised by allegations that are not true. I own up to my part in this, but I will not be painted as someone who is a con artist and embezzler. I won't be someone whose name gets tarnished without putting up a fight. I owe it to my friends, my family, and myself to stand up to this situation right now.
Okay, so I played that whole part without pausing because I felt like it was important for the impact, because as you can see, Mans is super extremely angry. I'm not going to say big baby rage mad because I'm not trying to demean his feelings, okay? He feels like his reputation has been torn asunder by both Karl and Mutahar, and he is coming here with guns a-blazing, trying to defend himself and saying that he's not just going to sit back here and take it. And objectively, when I first initially watched this video, I thought like, maybe this wasn't too bad. He said sorry for a few things. He kind of talked about where the money might have went when it came to the golfing tournament, and how that got switched around and how the revenue might not make around, yada yada. And then he got angry, which feels like maybe justified so, because he believes he's being slandered and he hasn't done anything wrong. So when I initially, watched this video, I thought to myself like, yeah, this doesn't seem too bad. Looking at this holistically, to me at least, okay, I don't even care to go into the details of the weeds of if an audit passes or not, okay? I'm an accountant. I know that audits get passed all the time, even if there are things in the books that might not make sense or things don't add up, okay? For those of you guys who don't know, when it comes to an audit, all right, they don't look at every single transaction and every penny and every dime, okay? They take samples, they randomize, they choose months, all right? They just kind of brush over it. And it's very easy to, just hire a private CPA firm and get some person who just wants to clock out to kind of check in and kind of a little sift through it and be like, yeah, looks okay, you're good to go, okay? It's not difficult to pass an audit. I'll bet if they're doing serious illegal things, then yeah, it would be. The point that mattered the most to me as not having any skin in the game was the misleading content. Was 10 years of saying that you were working with charity when the working part you're talking about is not actually donating. No proceeds, nothing was happening. You continue to tell the audience that that's what was occurring. The action, the donations, all the money goes to places and it doesn't get touched. And it does get touched. It goes to the open hand community and then it does nothing. It just literally sits there and loses to inflation. And you guys just talk about how there are conversations, but you're name dropping all of these people that you've literally done nothing transactionally with. For me, as an outsider looking in, that's been my only gripe on it, is that it felt like it was a bit misleading and dishonest to continue to tell people over a long period of time that their money is going to be going to these charities and these donor events, because how much longer would this have occurred? 15 years, 20 years? Like if Mutahar and Karl never made this video, how much longer would they have sat there and racked up all this money from Indie Land? What would have actually happened if these guys never called them out on this depreciating asset just sitting in their account losing money? Anyway, Mutahar made a response video as of yesterday. It was 50 minutes long. I won't show you the whole thing, but I'll show you some of the bits and pieces, the highlights again, basically responding to Jirard and talking about some of the contradictions in what he's been saying and why he feels like a lot of this is still misleading. Community notes adding context saying that Jirard said all bits, super chats, etc. will go to the open hand and that we're not touching any of it. He now says these sources offset production costs, which just makes common sense, right? When you're raising charity funds events and you're raising for money and you're saying, no, you're not touching any of it, but then you touch it. Like, it's okay to not make this exclamation. It's okay to say, yes, we're raising charity funds. And then also, though, some of the charity funds that you guys raise help us fund the charity in itself. If that's what you want to communicate, that's fine. I don't think people actually have a problem. But if you're saying that you didn't touch the money, you're raising all the charity, and then every single cent and penny goes to the actual charity itself, that's two completely different things. And there are some people who don't operate in that way. There are some people who don't actually take the amount of the charity and then reduce how much it costs to make the event. Some people fund the event on their own, and then all charity money and proceeds just go there from what you get. There are other several contradictory statements in this response. The included link goes over them in detail. This is Mutahar's video right here. But before we get to Mutahar's video, okay, I would just like to say that Karl has already responded on Twitter, and he said, hey, apparently I've been called out. I will release a full video response next weekend. This is weekend coming up. Until then, I want you to know that you should wait to hear my side of the story, and also that I have dozens of friends willing to testify that I'm a really nice guy. I am prepared to defend my statements in court against someone who has been caught and admitted to committing years of charity fraud. I will respond to the lies in the response video next weekend and will correct any mistakes I made when covering said fraud. So Karl is doubling down. He's not retracting the concept of calling this charity fraud. He's saying this is charity fraud, right? He's not saying like, sorry, I shouldn't have said charity fraud. I just meant like blah, blah. No, he's saying this is somebody committing years of charity fraud. He also says, my gloves are coming off, okay? As someone who is already dealing with one frivolous lawsuit, I can tell you that the only most vile, disgusting people even suggest taking such action. So he's pissed. Now everybody's pissed, okay? Like... Everybody's angry. It's insane to see how the situation has blown up to the point where you have these 3 huge YouTubers going back and forth about whether or not charity funds were used appropriately. Another comment that I wanted to make, okay, which had to do with Mutahar's video, where I tweeted, you know what, here's the pivotal point in Jirard versus Mutahar case, in my opinion, okay? I said that Jirard has apologized and has admitted in his video that it was inappropriate to make statements that misled his audience. Okay, that's him in his own word. Was it dishonest? I said maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know what goes through his brain. I don't know if he was intentionally trying to be dishonest or not. But I said, was it inflated? Definitely, because no cause was helped in over a decade. If you see this, what is this charity fraud statement here? Fraudulent activity can also occur when people make dishonest or inflated claims about how much money they have raised or how much it has helped the cause, which I believe that's what Karl and Muta have been focusing on in terms of dishonesty and inflation based on how it is actually helping the cause. Also saying I'm not a lawyer too as well, because I'm just talking about it objectively. People are allowed to do that, but also I'm not going to say that my word is fact here, because I don't know, lawyers might be like, nah, dog, you're missing something crucial here. I said, but I do believe this comes down to the definition of what charity fraud constitutes, okay? Even if Jirard's intention to commit fraud, a judge might rule differently based on these facts, all right? If it goes to trial, we'll find out. Saying that even if you don't mean to commit fraud, even if it wasn't your intention, you could actually do so. So it doesn't have to be intentional for charity fraud to actually happen. This is just my thoughts, okay? Just in case you guys were kind of curious of what I thought as a non-lawyer. Pivoting, we have here Mutahar's 55-minute video response, okay? It's already got 32,000 likes, only 500 dislikes. Number 2 on trending, probably going to hit number 1 at already 500,000 views in 12 hours, okay? Looks like just on the top when it comes to metrics, it's a slam dunk. Knowing Mutahar, he probably went into the details and the weed. Didn't really talk probably too much of like appeal of emotion or anything. Just probably just hits you with like the bare bones, brass tacks facts. That's it, right? And just saying A plus B does not equal C. You said this, but then you said that. Why does that not add up? That's probably the summary of the entire video, but let's go ahead. I'll find some of the highlights for you that I thought were worth looking at. But you should watch both videos in totality in order to have the full scope. I know you won't, but I'm just telling you that you should.
Now, I've been pretty vocal about waiting for a response from Jirard, and while I understand legal matters often put a gag into your mouth during incredibly sensitive situations like this, I was pretty surprised to see a response yesterday in general, but what was really wild to me was how some of the individuals, at least on Twitter, and again, I don't use Twitter as an intelligent metric, actually took this as a somewhat exonerating response, when it actually paints more contradictions into the light. So I'm here to offer my response to Jirard's response with receipts, something that I personally believe Jirard did not do at all in his video. I never saw one bank statement, never saw one evidence of money flow. It was an entire story of me just taking him at his word, which I will once again prove in this video that you cannot take Jirard at his word. He is proven to be somebody that is deceptive. So let me explain exactly how this works.
So Mutahar suggesting, number 1, Jirard did not provide any bank statements or details. Okay, my guess is he won't drop any of that. He's just going to be like, yeah, the audit was a pass, so you don't need anything else. He probably won't go into the details and the weeds of it, but also saying that even if he did get that pass, if he did get that audit, or if that was lined up right, Jirard still keeps contradicting himself. There's a lot of statements that he says A, but then he also says statement B, and they don't clash.
Now, the audit was never the smoking gun during this video, and you might be like, whoa, what are you talking about, Muta? An audit literally exists to prove if you've got money sitting in an account. As of a week ago, roughly, the Open Hand Foundation donated $600,000 to the AFTD Foundation. Now remember, if you look through the entire original investigations, even if you look into the very recent pieces where we looked into their golf revenues, Twitch revenues, Indieland revenues, the question that I was raising to the table is that, honestly, I just need to see if the revenues all match up.
Right.
There's no accusations of embezzlement as much as Jirard would like to mention. It's just more me trying to actually get some answers. Remember, charities are supposed to be open books, and they're supposed to itemize everything imaginable. The moment when you have buckets just listed as expenses and whatnot, the reason why an audit is asked for is just to make sure that that information is above board and it's all there.
He believe we're done with selfish intent. They have directly jeopardized the safety of me, my staff, and my family, and that is not okay. I want to reiterate and specifically address that both the Foundation and I have been accused of forgery, embezzlement, and charity fraud. The allegations imply the Foundation forged tax returns because they weren't physical signatures on them when we e-filed them, or that we altered numbers to hide income or expenses.
That holds weight, though. That part. The underreporting part is there, like, the math didn't math. That was proven. The math did not math for the prior years. I'm not talking about this year, because this year isn't finished. The return isn't filed yet for 23, because 23 is not over. We're talking about prior years. The math for prior years doesn't matter.
So this is an accountant. He referenced an actual an accountant. Now, I'm an accountant too, okay? I have no experience when it comes to charity, okay? Foundations. All right? I'm used to auditing like multi-million-dollar corporations that are public, completely different and out of the spectrum, all right? We have like 15 people, sometimes 10 people working on one audit for just one quarter. Completely different, so I can't say anything about this outside of some of the basic layman's of debits and credits, okay? But this is Mutahar strengthening his argument using the response from an actual accountant who might actually have some more expertise in this area, saying like, yeah, the math's not maths. But from what I understand, it comes to the whole concept of pledging when it comes to some of the golfing tournaments. It seems like you could pledge money for charity, but you don't actually have to give the money to charity. You can say, hey, I'm pledging, I'm gonna come to this event, but I'm not going to give you the money yet, and that might get rolled over into the next year. That's what Jirard was saying, is that some of the money won't make sense because some of the money that they recognize from one year gets rolled over to the next year, or maybe even the next year, or I don't know. It sounds like a way where their money can basically just fluctuate in any kind of way based on when they actually receive it. I don't know if they're cash or tax basis, but or accrual basis, but I'm not going to get into that. This is the last part that I'm going to play about the video, okay? There's more, all right? This man goes into the thick and the wheels of it, so much detail. You guys have to watch the video if you guys want the full 1-1 picture. But the part that mattered to me the most is I'm trying to understand if Jirard's actions were either A, malicious, or B, unintentional on purpose. Okay, that's it. That's all I really care about. Because if this man just made a genuine mistake and was like, sorry, I did not know that the money was in there and I shouldn't have done that and I should have donated it, and that was it, and he just donated the money, I would have been like, all right, cool. Man's terrible at keeping account of his money, but it also, he gave the money to charity, and that's it. You know, that we're done. But with Jirard, with this added video on top of the video where he talked with Karl and Muta in private as well, contradictions are just being created left and right the more and more that he speaks.
Brother and I started a foundation called the Open Hand Foundation that raises money for dementia research and treatment for organizations all over the world. We're soon going to be partnering up with the Alzheimer's Association, currently working with the University of San Francisco, and we're kind of one of their main funding support partners going into all of this. And then I made statements potentially implying donations were made when they had not yet.
Saying that he worked with the United States of San Francisco and he's being one of the main funding partners, right? Like, he's talking about these things like this is happening, right? But nothing is happening. 10 years of being like, yeah, we're working, we're talking, we're funding. The word was used was funding, and not a single cent went to any actual charity. Okay, that's a bit misleading. That's not even a bit that's misleading.
All bits, all donations, all super chats, all YouTube memberships, basically anything that's tied to donating or subscribing in a financial way to us is going to charity. We're not touching any of it. It's all going for a good cause. We're going to have a great weekend. We have a lot of games. And then I made statements potentially implying donations were made when they had not yet been.
So they're saying that everything that's being donated is going straight to charity, and he's not touching it, okay? When, again, it has already been established that they're using it to offset the cost of the event, which, again, is fine as long as you just don't say it, right? Or you do communicate, yeah, we're going to use the money to offset the cost, but you're touching the money. You can't say it's all going to charity and we're not touching it, and then immediately just go and touch it.
All the money goes to the Open Hand Foundation, an organization that we started in honor of my mom, and all that money goes to dementia research. We don't touch any of it. We just work with the people who do need the money, and we help them
do their thing.
And then I made statements potentially implying donations were made when they had not yet been.
We are raising money for dementia research in honor of my late mom, trying to help folks who've been impacted by dementia, working with organizations like USF, FTD Association of America, Alzheimer's Association of America, and so many more.
And then I made statements potentially implying donations were made when they had not yet been.
Do our own version of that every year and kind of make it a cool celebration of games and raise money for charity. And so he was like, I wish we had a charity that we could donate to. And I was like, oh, I run my own charity called the Open Hand Foundation, and all the money that we aggregate, I started it when I was a young boy with my dad in honor of my mom who had dementia. And so we just every year we try and raise as much money as possible, and then we go work with Alzheimer's Association of America, University of San Francisco, Association for FTD, which is what my mom had, FTD. So we've worked with big and small organizations across the board, and he was like, it'd be really cool if we did a show all about raising money for people who are making huge headways in dementia research and prevention and all that stuff. And
So, again, just gonna pause here because I think you guys can all kind of see what's happening here. Can't say that you're working with all of these charities, that you're doing all of these things with all of these guys and all funding all of these key words and saying to get people to come and donate money to your charity. All right. Everything that you're doing to bring people to come in and to be a part of the event. You're saying that you're doing all of these things and literally nothing is happening. For 10 years, nothing is happening, okay? Almost every single person who donates in terms of the YouTube sphere, they usually just give the money that year. They're like, hey guys, we raised the money, and then blah, it's gone, right? This man was like, nah, I'm gonna raise the money, and then I'm gonna raise it again, I'm gonna raise it again, I'm gonna raise it again, and I'm gonna keep having the money sitting here losing to freaking inflation, but I'm gonna keep telling people that we're working with all these people. However you look at it, right? It does not make sense. It feels like he is lying. That's what it feels like. He's not saying what's actually occurring. It is not difficult in the least bit to communicate to your audience and saying we're raising money in which we get to a certain point, we're going to spirit bomb a charity. That's it. No one would care. They're like, okay, cool. I'm excited for this spirit bomb. And we've been raising it for years. And once we reach a certain point, we're ready to just go dump it somewhere so that doesn't go to admin fees and everything like that. When you say that your hands doesn't touch it and then it touches, that is also, again, it's a lie, okay? It feels like a lie. I'm trying not to get involved in this. I'm saying everything allegedly, but it feels like a huge contradiction. I'm not Phoenix Wright, but it feels like that. So yeah, for the rest of the video, Mutahar is just looking at all the receipts and going over it left and right and just pointing out things that do not make sense. There's just too many things that just do not make sense that you don't even have to have an accounting degree for, right? Just as a basic top-down level. And he does that from 17 minutes into 55 minutes in. And I highly suggest you guys watch the entire video as a whole if you are invested in the situation. Some of the top comments being 10 years later, he remembered to donate the money from a charity event he has every year. Amazing. A truly wonderful human being. As someone who has donated close to $1,000 to Indieland over the years, I've been kind of shaken for weeks since this all went down. I feel like an entire idiot. I feel like I can't trust no one. It's been a very hard time. Keep up the fight, Muta. This is the actual, in my opinion, the victims of this situation. Not Muta, not Karl, not Jirard, the people who donated to Indieland, right? Hoping that their money would go towards a good cause, and it did absolutely nothing. It might have continued to do absolutely nothing if these guys didn't speak up. And last but not least, my other pain point that I had was in a conversation between Jirard and Karl and Muta. He mentioned specifically that he didn't know that this was kind of happening. It's like he just became aware that the money was sitting in the account. And for me, at least, that does not sit right with me, because when charities raise money, they always make announcements, right? Annually, that they've raised XYZ and it has gone to ABC. That's one of their big points. There's never an announcement at all. And I can't honestly, in my head, think that someone can be a part of a board of a charity and not know that their money hasn't gone anywhere. Also knowing that there has been no announcement, right? Like he would know once the money leaves the funds out of that bank account because he would talk about it. He would officialize it, right? For me, that's how I feel, man. It's just, for me, it's funky. Do I think Jirard is a terrible person? I don't know. I'm not going to come to any conclusions. Everything that I'm saying in terms of charity fraud, I'm not even going to call that. I'm just allegedly, it just smells bad. to me, in my opinion, objectively. If you guys think otherwise, you can let me know. But that's the whole Jirard Completionist situation, okay? It's going to get worse because now Karl's going to respond, and Karl is very straightforward in saying that this money was embezzled, that he's a charity fraud. Karl's going for the throat and saying, look, no, I'm not implying it. I am saying it. And I am fed up and done with YouTubers trying to give me lawsuits, and I'm going to go in and go hard next week. So this is a battle. I don't know if lawyers are going to eventually get involved. I don't know if Jirard's going to make a second statement, even though he said he wasn't going to make a completed statement from this. I don't know what's going to happen, but I think the overall sentiment is that it doesn't look very good for Jirard right now, just because there's too many contradicting statements. And yeah, man, just should have taken the L early on, in my opinion. Be like, sorry, you're right. I should have donated that money. I forgot it was just sitting there. Let me go ahead and do that real fast. I appreciate you guys bringing it to my attention, and I'll make sure going forward, you know, if people still want to continue, that I'll just donate it every year annually, and we would have been done. Yeah, there would have been some people who would have been upset, still been like, why did you do that kind of thing? But you still donated to charity, you raised some money, you lost it somewhat to inflation. And I believe there are charities out there who actually do hold on to their money for specific reasons. I'll bet they have much higher amounts and probably have different purposes. It's much complicated. But it did not need to get this big, and yet here we are. All right, I'm going to touch on this topic really fast, quick, fast, in a hurry, because Twitch is acting up again, and you guys might have seen it, okay? It's... You probably can't see this picture here because I have to blur it, because otherwise, like, YouTube demonetizes it. YouTube does not allow nothing. Every time I talk about these things that are happening with Twitch and some of the cam girls who are coming up on here, YouTube will not have any of it. Anyway, so what are your thoughts on this new Twitch trend that I cannot show you here, right? But if you... There is a woman. All right, her name is Pie, okay, and she's over here, and she's streaming with literally everything being shown up to close to where the nipple is. And that's it. Just standing there. And that is the new Twitch trend, is for women to stream with almost their nipples showing. And when people subscribe or donate, they... Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna try to show it to you, but I'll try to just like censor it. Okay, you have to see it in action.
What is this meta?
And also, like, anxious today. You know what I mean? Titan, thank you for the tier 3. Thank you.
Oh, what kind of world? It's over. I'm speechless, bro. Yo, thank you for the tier 3, bro. Like, oh yeah, that's kind of where we are on the state of Twitch right now. When I found out about this, I was actually streaming on Twitch, so I decided to go to Twitch just to see, like, okay, is this really a trend? Cap, this has got to be a one-off. And the front page, the first 2 videos out of the 3 videos, was one girl with the boobage all the way down here, and then another girl with just ass in your face. There are women who are I gotta show you, okay? They stream like this. It's like this. They stream just like this. They don't even look at the camera no more. They just talk, and it's just ass in your face. Zoomed in butt cheeks. There was one girl who's just not literally wearing any panties. It's just full on ass. And I'm just like, I guess that's where we are now. That's okay, I guess. I think Pie and all these girls who kind of do these things, they get banned, but then they come back in like 2 to 3 days, and then they just do it again. So it confuses me because I don't understand what Twitch is doing. Is it not allowed? Is it okay? What exactly is allowed here or not? What are they even getting banned for? And if they're getting banned and then they're coming back and doing it again, what's the point of a ban in the first place? I'm gonna do it right now, okay? I'm gonna do it right now here, guys. I'm gonna go check Twitch live. I'm gonna go check the just chatting, and I'm gonna see it's 9:13 a.m. in the morning. There's no way, right, that it's too early for this, right? There's no way. And this is what you see. What is this? Yeah, this is just chatting on Twitch now. Keffel's over here saying a lot of people are responding to this, saying people just hate women, but I think it's not unreasonable to be grossed out at people who are essentially doing soft core porn on a site that is predominantly used by children. At the end of the day, this is all just you know, a not a pump and dump. Well, maybe it is a up and down, right? But they're trying to you go on Twitch and they're like, hey guys, if you like this, come over to my OnlyFans site, and it's just a means to an end to kind of funnel to their actual main content. And people are upset that this is what Twitch is allowing on their front page. Okay, I go there and that's exactly what I see. It's not even like a toggle or a switch where I can just be like, yeah, I would like to see plus 18 content. It's just bam in your face, which is it's just remnants of kind of like Twitter too. When you're on Twitter, you can go through and you can click through a thread, you can click a tweet, you can watch a video of a cat, and you're just like, oh, this is a cute cat, and you scroll down, and then suddenly, boom, full blown nudity, all of it there. It's kind of like something that you can't even dodge. So it's just kind of strange to see Twitch just allow this to just be free roaming nonstop. It's always been a situation, but it seems like now it's a new trend. And yeah, that's that's all I'm going to really say about it. You guys can let me know how you feel about that in the comments below. And last but not least, okay, are you trying to buy a home? Do you want a home? Do you just want one sometime in the future? Because right now, it's almost impossible to get one unless you live in like Pee Shire, Delaware. Nowhere is there where there's just a home that you can buy in the middle of a farm, okay? But it looks like Congress is trying to get involved. A lot of you guys asked me to talk about this where it comes hedge funds have invaded the housing market. A new bill would ban them. A sweeping new bill introduced in Congress would essentially ban hedge funds and private equity firms from buying single-family homes. TLDR, for those of you guys who just don't know what I said, okay? Companies, organizations with lots and lots of money, millions, billions, okay? They control everything. They're gobbling up the equity of the world. They're gobbling up real estate left and right, okay? When you see all these homes for sale and they get bought out, it could potentially be being bought out by a mega corporation. You had no chance when it came to that auction of buying that house because they put 20 or 30 or 40,000 more dollars into the asking price because they can afford it and you cannot. Going just a little bit more into it, okay? Hedge funds, private equity firms, and investment trusts have been snatching up single-family homes all around the country for years, creating concern that homeowners themselves would be pushed even further out of the market. But a sweeping new bill introduced by U.S. Senator Jeff Merkley and Washington Rep. Adam Smith would, if enacted as written, essentially ban such corporate investors from the practice of moving forward. Now, as you guys, again, you may or may not know this, but if it sounds like it's a good idea and it would be helpful for the people, usually it will never pass, okay? It just won't. If it feels like, hey, this is an excellent way to use our government, right? It won't pass. That's just how it works. The bill would require large funds to sell off 10% of their homes each year over a decade. Okay, they're basically saying give up some of these homes from these corporations and give it to actual people who want to own. Okay, because when you got hedge funds owning all of these houses, then you just have people renting. They're not getting their own equity. They're not getting their own house. They're not having their own ownership. They just have to live forever, perpetually paying some company for the rent of their home. That's it. So we shouldn't allow private equity firms to buy up vast quantities of American homes and create a generation of lifelong renters. Congress needs to act fast and help promote across to safe, affordable housing and home ownership for American families, not Wall Street, Smith said in a press release. I'm very curious about this bill and I'll keep you updated if it passes, or if it gets through, or if it gets rejected. I'm very curious because it's huge. It could monumentally have a huge impact over the next 10 years, but I feel like it's just not going to happen because it's a good thing for us, right? So usually if it's a good thing for you, it's just not something that's going to pass through. That just seems to be the way that I've seen the, government works when it comes to these bills. But yeah, I'll keep you posted. But all right, guys, that's all I have for today's video. Okay, you made it in, drop a like, subscribe if you guys haven't already, and I'll drop a video for you guys on Wednesday. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And yeah, I appreciate y'all. And yeah, take it easy. All right, peace.